On April 11, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln delivered the final speech of his life from a White House window. 2 days earlier, Confederate General Robert E. Lee had surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant, General-in-Chief of the Union Armies, at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. Amidst the hope and uncertainty of this watershed moment, the people wanted to hear from their president. In what became known as the Speech on Reconstruction, Lincoln offered his reflections on the urgent matters at hand to the racially diverse crowd gathered outside the White House. Less soaring in its rhetoric than the justly famous second inaugural address that Lincoln had delivered less than 6 weeks earlier, the Speech on Reconstruction highlighted the practical challenges then facing the United States. In his opening remarks, Lincoln spoke of his hope of a righteous and speedy peace, and he promised to announce a day of thanksgiving. This celebratory note sounded only briefly. The bulk of the speech dealt with the immediate requirements for readmitting Louisiana into the Union with a newly constituted state government. Lincoln touched on the contentious matter of black suffrage, noting that it is unsatisfactory to some that the elective franchise is not given to the colored man in Louisiana, and stating that I would prefer that it were now conferred on the very intelligent and on those who serve our cause as soldiers. These few rather tentative remarks signaling Lincoln's plans to enfranchise some of the freed people are thought to have moved John Wilkes Booth to assassinate the president. 3 days later, Booth carried out his decision, shooting Lincoln in the head at Ford's Theater on the evening of April 14th. The president died the following morning. Contemplating the transition to peace that he would not live to accomplish, Lincoln acknowledged the enormous challenges ahead, stating flatly that the future is fraught with great difficulty. He explained the obstacles facing the United States with remarkable economy of expression. First, he observed that, unlike the case of a war between independent nations, there is no authorized organ for us to treat with. Lincoln may have been thinking about the developing system of international law that offered new ways to end wars between states but did not apply to civil conflicts. This system had begun taking shape with the Jay Treaty of 1794, officially titled the Treaty of Amity, Commerce, and Navigation between His Britannic Majesty and the United States of America. Named for the Supreme Court Chief Justice John Jay, who served as a special envoy for the United States in the negotiations, the Jay Treaty included provisions for arbitration to resolve hostilities between the United States and Great Britain. 3 joint commissions negotiated the main issues in the conflict, with a settlement reached in 1802. While not the first use of arbitration, the Jay Treaty is often considered to be the origin point for the system of international adjudication that matured over the succeeding century and a half.